This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Westmoreland, a wanted man shot dead in police operation. One of Westmoreland's most wanted men has been shot dead by the police during an operation in Bluefields in the parish. The police say an AK-47 assault rifle and several rounds of ammunition were seized. Andre Hines, otherwise called Bunny, of a Savannah Lamar address also in Westmoreland, was listed among Westmoreland's most wanted in September. The police say shortly after 9 a.m., cops from the Westmoreland Police Division, assisted by members of the Jamaica Defense Force, carried out an operation in All Deer Bluefields in search of Hines and other gunmen. The police say they were fired upon by armed men, and the fire was returned, killing Hines. Hines was being sought for a double murder, shooting with intent, and arson. Jamaica Fire Brigade now able to fully access high-rise buildings. The Jamaica Fire Brigade is asserting that it has the ability to tackle fires which may take place in high-rise buildings across the island. Assistant Commissioner in charge of fire prevention at the brigade, Sean Martin, says the capacity to monitor high-rise buildings will also increase within weeks. Mr. Martin's disclosure is in response to recent concerns about the risk of fires due to developers' floating conditions of their permits and a lack of regulatory oversight. Mr. Martin explains that the equipment to respond is already available and is strategically located because of the risk assessment in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, and St. James. We have 4 hydraulic platforms. These are 2 units that can be extended to a maximum feet of 115, but for safety reasons we extended to just about 105 feet. You are talking about approximately 9 or 10 floors. In terms of capacity, we have a capacity. He also said that more regulatory oversight has been added with increased inspections. He disclosed that in a matter of weeks there will be more fire personnel for inspections and the certification of buildings. We're currently going through restructuring, where the government will approve a restructuring of the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the Fire Prevention Division. They will beef up the capacity of this division. Come April 1, we will be employing a compliance and enforcement officer to ensure that we can fulfill our mandate to conduct annual inspections to ensure that buildings are certified, he said. JTA wants PEP exams postponed until summer. The Jamaica Teachers Association is calling for the Ministry of Education to postpone the primary exit profile exams until the summer term. JTA President-elect LaSonja Harrison told the news that students are not ready for the exams. According to Mrs. Harrison, a significant number of grade 6 students who are slated to sit the ability assessment component of PEP this month were not engaged in online learning. The student performance currently is reflecting that the students did not grasp those content as well as we thought they did, and so coming back into the face-to-face, we are realizing, or we have seen, the significant gaps that are out there in terms of the learning, the processing, the understanding, the skill sets that are necessary in order for the students to be adequately prepared, she shared. Mrs. Harrison noted that a number of students have also returned to schools without textbooks. Some students still are at school without required or prescribed texts, though ministry would have sent some texts to school or schools would have had in their coffers before. However, we still have some of the workbooks and the stuff that students had not purchased because the parents and everyone alike would have been significantly impacted by the current economic situation. So all of those variables are at play, she insisted. Opposition spokesperson on education, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, had earlier warned that based on feedback from a number of teachers, the majority of grade 6 students will not do well in the PEP exams this year. She urged the government to scrap the performance task component of the exam. Customs is always watching, smugglers warned. The Jamaica Customs Agency is always watching. That is the message to would-be smugglers from Kingsley Henry, the agency's Director of Cargo Imaging and Physical Security Management. Speaking with the news at the JCA Employees Awards and Recognition Ceremony on Thursday at the JCA's downtown Kingston corporate offices, Henry warned that the agency was building out its capacity to better track and detect contraband. Customs is relying more on technology, Henry disclosed, adding that it had invested in developing a master plan to further modernize its tracking and imaging interpretation systems, among others. Integrating its scanning system with its automatic system for customs data clearance system is now the priority. We want a situation where our screeners are relying on paper manifest but are able to see the image on the screen and see a corresponding electronic manifest and the declaration that the customer has submitted. A feature that we also want to work on in the new system is one where our image interpretation is taking place in the maritime port away from the scanning machines, he added. So we would have a control center where you scan and the images are relayed to a remote location where the image interpretation can be done. Those are some of the improvements that we have been working on in recent years. In addition to its highly publicized role on the ports and at airports, the JCA has also been racking up many interpretations of ganja and other contraband sent through the Postal Service. They are small seizures, but smugglers try all the time to use ingenious ways to try and beat the system. You would be surprised at the number of seizures that we have made through the post. These things don't make the news probably because it's routine, happens every day. At the airport, it's the same thing, said Henry. If you are someone who buys regularly from online stores, your transactions could also catch the attention of customs. Most passengers coming through the customs or baggage halls are randomly picked out for searches, but some are flagged based on risk and intelligence assessments. For clients receiving barrels, boxes, and the like, where the contents are usually listed as grocery items, these are subject to serious screening long before they are even made aware that these have arrived on the island, according to Henry. We have these machines all over the terminals, and they scan the containers coming on the terminals and going out of the terminals. We also have them in the warehouses where people go to collect their barrels and the boxes and the stuff. They get that kind of screening before it gets to you as the importer, and we do the same thing at the post offices. So when you get your mail or your parcel through the post office, it would already have been screened through all these machines by our team. Maritime cargo also comes under the scrutiny of customs, which has the equipment to do the necessary screening for nuclear or radioactive material, with Henry pointing out that the JCA is equipped with the necessary equipment and the personnel to track and screen everything coming in or going out of the official port. On Thursday, some 152 individual and 5 group awards were presented. Manager of the Data Entry Unit in Kingston, Damien Beckford, was named the Employee of the Year for the second straight year. Among those recognized for long service were Sonia Duncan, 40 years, Leonard Pitt, 33 years, and Ian Johnson, 32 years. Commissioner of Customs and JCA Chief Executive Officer Velma Ricketts Walker presented the awards and spoke on gains made in the industry in keeping with Customs Week 2022, which was observed under the theme Scaling Up Digital Transformation by Embracing a Data Culture and Building a Data Ecosystem. PNP urges evacuation of Jamaicans in Ukraine. As various countries urge their nationals to leave Ukraine amid reports that a Russian invasion is imminent, the People's National Party is calling for the evacuation of scores of Jamaicans who currently reside there. In a statement on the matter, Lisa Hanna, opposition spokesperson on foreign affairs, said the Jamaican government should urgently activate channels for the immediate protection and removal of the Jamaicans who are students in Ukraine. Ms. Hanna has cited the possibility that Ukraine's skies will be closed to commercial traffic in the event that war with Russia does happen. She added that this could result in hundreds of thousands of people being displaced. Last week, the news reported that Jamaicans in Ukraine had been advised by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to be prepared in the event they have to leave the country at a short notice. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith said the Jamaican embassy in Berlin had been asked to undertake a welfare check on the 42 Jamaicans who are privately pursuing tertiary studies in the cities of Kharkiv and Donetsk. Some of the Jamaicans had expressed unease with the situation in Ukraine. 154 new COVID cases, 18 more deaths reported. Jamaica on Friday reported 154 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of confirmed cases reported on the island to 126,886. According to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the country also reported 18 more virus-related deaths. The death toll since the start of the pandemic now stands at 2,738. Of the newly reported cases, there were 96 females and 58 males, with ages ranging from 67 days to 108 years. The cases were recorded as follows: Clarendon 2, Hanover 4, Kingston and St. Andrew 23, Manchester 15, St. Anne 18, St. Catherine 31, St. Elizabeth 18, St. James 15, St. Mary 2, St. Thomas 8, Trelawney 9, and Westmoreland 9. The country also recorded 375 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 72,949. The country's positivity rate now stands at 15.3%. There are 2,199 active cases on the island. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.